Lombard RAC Rally, the final round of the World Rally Championship and the last year for the eligibility of the powerful Group B cars. They would be banned next season after a catalogue of tragic and fatal accidents blamed on their sheer power. Pre-event scrutineering, and a chance for rally fans to see what will only be a blur later, and the opportunity to rub shoulders with the top international drivers. Outside scrutineering and in the November sunshine. Car 9, Mikael Eriksson's Lancia Delta S4. One of two fielded by Lancia. The other for World Championship contender Markku Alén, fighting for the 1986 title with Peugeot driver Juha Kankkunen.
David Llewellyn, here we are on the RAC Rally 1986, the last time out for the 6R4 in an international rally. How do you rate its chances?
I think the chances of the car, I think a Metro could well win the rally as much as any of the other cars. For myself, well, I'm not so experienced as the other lads. I mean, Malcolm and Tony, I would have thought have got the best chance of winning the event. I've only in fact done the event once, so I'm slightly lacking on experience for it. But of course the other leading manufacturers have got a bit of a horsepower advantage, 100, 150 horsepower.
Yeah.
But on blind forestry, we hope that they won't be able to use all that power and that we'll have a chance to at least compete and swap stage times with them.
So you're going to be hanging back a little bit at the start and seeing what happens up in front of you, right?
Yes, it's very difficult. The first day is always very difficult on these spectator stages, and as Tony well knows, it's very easy to put it off. So I'm going to go out and enjoy it, and hopefully that I'll be somewhere near the pace.
Here we are on the 1986 RAC Rally, the last international event for the 6R4. How's it going to go this year?
Went very well last year, didn't it? I think
It
it will go better this year because there's a lot of Metros, a lot of cars, some very good drivers, Malcolm Wilson, just one of them, Harry Toivonen and David Llewellyn, and they're all proved themselves and all going to go very quick. Got a strong team, which we didn't really have last year. We had two cars and we went out and got a reasonable result.
And how do you fancy your own chances personally this year?
I think I want to enjoy the rally. I think when you're driving 10 tenths, it's not that enjoyable. I don't think I want to drive 10 tenths on this event. I want to just sit back and watch how it goes, to see what happens, because I think a lot of people are going to pitch themselves in too quickly, and it might end up, because it's a short event, it might end up a real scramble.
Car number 1 and reigning world champion Timo Salonen leads the field from the starting point in Bath in one of 3 works entered Peugeot 205 Turbo T16s. 1983 winner Stig Blomqvist in the Ford RS200. Next is Markku Alén in the Lancia Delta S4, followed by top British driver Tony Pond, with regular co-driver Rob Arthur in the 6R4. And as Russell Brooks leaves Bath, we head to the first of the special stages at Barnet. Timo Salonen is the first to drive in anger. First day stages around stately homes and country parks are often referred to as Mickey Mouse stages, but being a shorter event and with no night stages, these stages will play a significant role. This excellent footage showing just how committed the drivers are, channeling the Group B power through their four-wheel drive systems and using every inch of the road.
Right-hander into the straight in front of you at the moment. That's the main spectator area.
Markku Alén here, using most of the grass too.
From the 470 brake horsepower of Lancia supercar, and up the straight he comes. Seeing some of the early cars already. Tony Pond then, car number 4 with Rob Arthur in the Metro 6R4, also off on the grass, but now back on the straight hairpin now. That's the big hairpin in front of the spectator enclosure. But he's away now, accelerating and getting very sideways, accelerating.
Juha Kankkunen comes to the RAC 2 points clear of Markku Alén in the title race and is hoping for a clean, trouble-free run. Unlike RS200 driver Callie Grundle, who spins the Ford right in front of our camera and loses a good 10 seconds in the process.
Underneath the spectator fence. That has cost him some time. He put the RS in a little bit sideways and got it onto the grass, but Stig Blomqvist with 209, Timo Salonen 210, and Juha Kankinen on 210. We're watching the Mazda now of Ingvar Carlsson, car number 7, coming down to the hairpin in front of the main spectator area. He's now accelerating along this long.
Next on the stage is Mikael Eriksson, taking a rather cautious approach in the Delta S4.
Malcolm Wilson looking good at the moment in the Metro 6R4, keeping it on the road nicely. While the Cumbria-based driver, Malcolm Wilson, who shot Spain with escorts, has taken to the Metro very successfully with T16s. Michael Sundstrom with Piotr Silander, the co-driver, the Finnish pair, car number 11. They are the next one to run through the stage, into the straight at the moment in front of the main spectator area. Won the 1986 British Open. On stage now with the next of the Ford RS200s. He's got Roger Freeman with him, Mark of course, and he has got the works drive this year in the home-based Ford RS200. So a lot expected of Mark Lovell after that British Open win. And he's into the straight now and accelerating hard. Car number 12, Mark Lovell, who has been driving the red-prepared, works-assisted Metro 6R4. David Llewellyn on stage now in the third of the Metro 6R4s. Coming down stage on the early part of the stage now, getting on the grass as he sets the car up into that hairpin underneath the spectator area. We're not losing very much time, just twitching it to the left and putting it back on stage now. There is talk of Jimmy being in a Lancia next year, but he has not confirmed that deal as yet. He was telling me yesterday at scrutineering. But here he is on the stage, accelerating now along in front of the spectator area. Car number 15, a 16-valve engine, but running on Weber carburetors, weighing about 980 kilos. Russell Brooks then, who came to fame in the days of the Mexico Championship and has since then had a tremendous rapport with, and Stig Andervang, producing the third of these works RS200s on the stage at the moment, is now about to accelerate along in front of the main spectator area. Has had a lot of success, of course, with her rallying with her co-driver Ellen Morgan. She was third overall in the 1984 National Championship. I think the next car running through the stage already, car number 24. So we're back to running order at the moment. And this, of course, is a car very much in contention for class. Dave Appleby in the big Rover Vitesse, car number 82. He's just coming into the main straight now with his mobile windscreen stack car. Well, David Appleby, who reckons this car does something like 8 miles to the gallon on the road, and
as we watch the Ford Capri of Jeremy Eason, we leave badminton to go to the third of the opening day's 9 stages at Sutton Park in Birmingham.
Let's come on the right-hander.
Timo Salonen, lying 4th, is first through the water splash, followed by the man who was quickest on the opening stage, Stig Blomqvist, in the RS200.
Right, every time we lift these ones, right from the Championship, it is Marco Allen, and he'll connect with the
Next is Marco Allen in the Delta S4. And then Tony Pond, who was 5th fastest here and 5th overall in the MG Metro 6R4. Juha Kankinen starts this stage leading overall with a lead of just 6 seconds. And as the rain continues to fall, Kalle Grundle is next through, having lost time with that spin on the opening stage and taking rather a wide line here too. Ingvar Carlsson in the Group A Mazda is followed by Mikael Eriksson with an impressive showing in the Delta. Malcolm Wilson, 6R4. And reigning British Open Rally champion Mark Lovell in the third of the Ford entered RS200s. David Llewellyn looking particularly quick in this 6R4, and former British champion Jimmy Mcrae hot on his heels.
Let's have a cheer for a local lad. Flies the flag constantly well for
Popular Midland driver Russell Brooks was not too far from his home here in Sutton Park. Unlike Swedish driver Per Eklund, who at least felt at home, having driven in numerous RAC rallies. Former German champion Harald de Muth in the David Sutton entered short wheel-based Audi Quattro S2. This event attracting entrants from all over the world. New Zealand's Tony Teasdale in the Repco-sponsored 6R4. Norway's John Hoagland, wringing every last drop of power from the works Skoda 130 LR. The ever-popular Penty Arickler, looking every bit as quick as the Group B cars here. Penty stuck in 4th gear on the last stage, benefiting from a new gearbox fitted on the road section prior to this one. Louise Aitken Walker's Nissan 240 RS had been off earlier on this stage and had collided with an ambulance in spectator's car. Damage evident, but still going, albeit down in a lowly 145th place, and being caught by the Group A Astra of Andrew Wood. Alistair Sutherland and Peter Watts in the Sanyo-backed 6R4. Phil Collins and Brian Thomas in the rear-wheel drive Sierra Cosworth. A quick look at the entry list tells us that next through is the Subaru RX Turbo of John Morton and Dillis Rogers. So on to Trentham Gardens, Salonen powering the T16 through the 5th of the day's 9 stages, and Marco LN lights up the exhaust of the Delta S4 in hot pursuit. Juha Kankinen and co-driver were overcome with fumes from spilt fuel on this stage and had to stop the car and open the doors just 200 yards from the flying finish. Mikael Eriksson continues to impress on what was to be his last outing in the Lancia. And Mark Lovell was to drop down the field shortly after this bend when he lost a lot of time overshooting a corner. A lovely shot of David Galanders as he emerges from the forest, as we take a look at some of the lower numbers now. Tommy Palmquist in car 38. The Audi Quattro and Yorkshireman Chris Lord in an Audi Quattro S2. Phil Collins in the Brooklyn Motorsport Sierra Cosworth, still being followed by an exuberant Chris Mellors getting it sideways in a similar car backed by Peacock's Ford. Car 46, Glyn Jones, shows us how to take that bend in his Opel Manta 400. Car 56, the Talbot Sunbeam of David Rastall. Jeff Taylor and co-driver Tony Strong, Opel Manta. Here, Miles Chamberlain in one of the 3 smallest Group B cars, the Citroën Visa. Jeff Fielding 6R4 looking troubled and seemingly recovering from a problem within the stage. Troubles of his own evident on the Opel Manta of Clive White. And so, one of the last of the 9 first day stages. Kenneth Eriksson being counted down in the Golf GTI. As Lassie Lampe takes to the line. This first day stages making up just 27 miles of the rally's 350 stage miles on this much shortened event. And as we leave Fujita disappearing into the darkness, we cut to the serious forest action of the Borderlands stages. Timo Salonen, the first to power through the Hamsterley stage. Stig Blomqvist pushing hard but hemorrhaging time with this rear puncture. Problems also for Tony Pond, the lack of speed quite evident as he loses traction to the rear wheels and a minute and a half of time in the process with a failed differential. No such problems for Marco Allen, the S4 looking ever sharp. Swede Stig Andervang is also looking good, but an accident later in the day was to force an early retirement. The Quattro of Harold Demuth misses the apex but powers through taking a wide line. Harry Toivonen bearing battle scars, presumably through the stitch-hugging technique. Harry's day would also be dogged by punctures. Tony Teasdale still going well, but Louise Aiken-Walker has put in a sterling drive that will see her climb all the way back into the top 20. John Hoagland once again showing why the Skoda has won its class for the past 14 years, but slightly quicker is Czechoslovakian teammate Ladislav Krejcek. Kenneth Eriksson, the leading front-wheel drive car, demonstrating a quite different technique to the rear and four-wheel drive cars. Pentti Rickler throwing his front-wheel drive Astra into the corner with a Scandinavian flick and scrabbling for traction. David Galanders showing a smooth, clean line, but a whole piston would pay to these efforts later. These Northern Forests will also see the retirement of Phil Collins here with suspension failure. David Llewellyn overcooking it and giving us an excellent view of the 6R4's rear end. Chris Mellors also getting it a bit too sideways and giving the spectators something to think about. And so to Wales. Suzanne Kotolinski making her hectic schedule pay off with a creditable 22nd overall and 3rd in class. Ian Roberton would come home in 34th position. Rob Stoneman was not to see the finish, retiring his Sierra Cosworth with differential problems later in the day. And as the November snow caps the mountains of Wales, Tony Saddington here takes his Astra through the stage steadily to finish a creditable 25th overall. Car 85 showing signs of impact, but Seizuki Oba-Starayan was to finish an impressive 23rd overall. Ken Wood, here minus front spoiler, another not to see the finish. His 6R4 was to retire through cam belt damage. Fujita taking a damage-free Starayan through Wales and to the finish in 27th position. And Andrew Wood pedalling the front-wheel drive Astra through to 24th. 28th position would go to the ever-popular Gavin Cox in the Opel Ascona. Rob Barry in the Manta would be down in 51st place. Malcolm Wilson in the Works 6R4, still giving it everything and rewarded with 17th overall. Chris Birkbeck's superb drive paid off by taking the privately entered Vauxhall Nova into the top 30 and class honours. A last sighting of Willie Rutherford, just prior to his rolling the 6R4 out of the competition. Ian Freestone in the ageing Talbot Sunbeam, not letting the lack of a rear screen get in his way of a top 40 finish. Ian Donaldson secures a top 50 place in the four-wheel drive Sierra. Pete Littler, in the smallest of the Group B cars, the Citroën Visa, just inside the top 50 in 47th position. Robert Clark nurses the Manta GTE to a finish and to 58th overall. (1986) Lombard RAC Rally winners. Timo Salonen with co-driver Seppo Haryana in the Peugeot 205 T16.